official time, where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the Pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam show. Turn it up.
Episode 367, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Pancakes and Powerslam show, and we are live. All right, let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris Featherstone here with the Pancakes and Powerslam show, episode 367 here on the Pancakes and Powerslam show, baby. You already know what it is, baby. All right, so how's everybody doing tonight? Crazy WrestleMania aftermath. We are here. We made it through. We made it through successfully, and we are going to have fun as we always do. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's we got Ezekiel Jackson coming on later on tonight. We also have lots and lots of stuff to cover as far as live. I was there live from Thursday morning to Sunday to Monday afternoon. I left. So audio seems off. How's the audio, Cody? I'm sorry. Let me know about the audio, Cody. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? Let me know if y'all can. Okay, Mo can hear me. Everything good? Got some bass on my mic tonight. Yeah. Well, this is typically how it is, but yeah, with the upgrades, there was a bit of okay, good, Cody. Good. There was a bit of some mic issues last time. Okay. Cool. Yep. Okay, Blackstar. Good to know. Yes, this is yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, this is Plan B again. I really like Plan B. I like Plan B better. This will be on the Blog Talk Radio, the audio version as well as Spotify. For those who don't know, Pancakes and Powerslams is now on Spotify, so that is major news, huge news, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun just like always. All right, so with the PNP Nation loading in, how does that feel about WrestleMania? Let me know your WrestleMania thoughts. I was there live. Let's jump right into WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, I was there live. Mo was there live. I'm glad that you were. What's up, Gabriel? Good to see you. What's up, Tammy? The PNP Nation is live in full effect. Brandon thought it was good. What grades would y'all give it? What grades would y'all give it? I was there live too. It was too long. it was just too. Well, here's the bad thing about all this is that I had a really bad headache. It was really rough. My headache was like super duper rough, and like I couldn't even really enjoy the show because my head was hurting so bad. And Denisha, what's up? New person to the PNP Nation. Welcome, Denisha, to the chat. All the PNP Nation, welcome, Denisha. Also, Spartacus. Welcome, Spartacus, as well. These are new names that I'm not used to seeing. So, welcome, all the PNP Nation. Welcome those two people in the chat as well. Again, Axe Chris. Lexi is back in the house. Great to have you back. PNP Nation is on in full effect. Brandon gives it A minus. A minus from Brandon. Spartacus 7.5 out of 10. And let's see what else. Wide Awake says 5 out of 10. Mo says A plus. All right. Now here's the thing. Mo, was it because of it being your first Mania? Was the experience an A plus? But if you think about it, about the card, what would you give the overall event? So that's the question on deck. So yeah. So ask Chris question. Gabriel's asking, did you buy your WWE title there, or did you have it over? I already had it. I've had that title for a while. No, I was not going to buy it there. That's I smartly gave it. Yeah, so Mo brought the grade down because of the card. Yeah. So I give it about, I said before, I had a post show, C plus B minus. Yeah, C plus B minus show. We'll go a little bit into it. Evan Tech Proud's about to call in here into the studio. Good Axe Chris questions. Cody's asking, what do you think about Roman getting booze already and them muting the crowd mics for TV? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, at this point, the fans got what they want. Roman Reigns isn't getting pushed. He was in 4 straight WrestleManias main events. He wasn't in the WrestleMania main event this year. Solid worker, working on his promo. His promo is actually getting stronger. Roman Reigns is a very solid worker in the ring. You can't do that. He's not being shoved down our throats. That was another thing, shoved down our throats. Not doing that. So he came back in 2 months ago, a little less than 2 months ago, and he had a match against Drew McIntyre, and he kept getting beat up. He kept getting beat up throughout the week. So, I don't know. Here's the thing. Cody says Drew should have won. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think you have your feel good moment with Roman Reigns coming back with the leukemia battle. It's a real deal. It's a shoot. It's a feel good moment. And you don't want to damper that. Because I've said this before, and I feel strongly about this. In a lot of cases, unless you have someone just burying talent and just really putting themselves over for the sake of being over, a heel loss can be worked with a lot more than a babyface loss to me. Because heels are supposed to, it's like you're supposed to be the bad guy, so you're kind of supposed to put people over and look good as you put someone over, as you make the babyface look good. So a heel losing, to me, holds much less weight than a babyface losing. So Drew losing doesn't mean anything. Doesn't do anything. Like, for instance, I think like Ryback lost against Mark Henry, and then within the night after or shortly after, he started feuding with John Cena, and they had a match for the WWE Championship. So that doesn't matter, especially with the shakeup. If Drew goes to SmackDown, which I think it's a terrible idea that they're kind of shaking up before the shakeup. Like, Raw and SmackDown was good. Raw was weird, odd, and the fact that they keep talking about the shakeup, and then at the same time you're having like Aleister Black and Ricochet competing on both shows, the Iconics on Raw, like it just. This whole, I'm a big fan of the split, and I think the split should go. The split should maintain, because you don't want just every talent on one show and try to break that up in two shows. It would just be overkill. But it's like, man, why in the world would you want to do that? Let the split be the split. Give people time to shine. Let's address these Ask Chris questions. Lexi asks Chris, besides the rumored departure to AEW, why do you think the Revival lost so horribly to Ryder and Hawkins? Well, I think putting the tag team titles on them was a way to hush them up. I've said this on the show before, and I still feel that way. I feel that putting the titles on them was a way to hush them up. And since probably that happened, they took them off. I mean, you could tell from the Revival's overall tag team title reign that it was not going to. There's no problem. There was going to be no promise to it at all. So, I'm cool with them putting on Ryder and Hawkins. Is that feel good moment? Here's the thing. I don't think. Very rare occasions do I think that WrestleMania should be used to extend feuds. I think WrestleMania should be used to culminate feuds. I think we should see the culmination of a long-standing or a good feud at WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. The reset is the Raw after WrestleMania. So basically, the Raw after WrestleMania to the next year's WrestleMania is like the wrestling calendar year. The Raw after WrestleMania, start your new feuds, your call-ups, your new feuds, do all of that. But I think that WrestleMania should be utilized to culminate feuds. And if you have Drew beat Roman, that is more of a feud extension. We want the feel-good moments at WrestleMania. It's a once-out-of-a-year thing. You want as many feel-good moments as you possibly can for that live crowd. You want them going home happy because it's WrestleMania. Use minor pay-per-views to build new feuds. Use minor pay-per-views to create, suspense as far as a heel. Like stuff like that. Use WrestleMania for the spectacle that it is. That's the reason why I was a big fan of 32. I was a big fan of 33 in Orlando, because there were so many feel-good moments in 33. The Hardys coming back. Of course, Shane. What was it? AJ Styles winning. Well, he's probably gonna win anyways, but that was a feel-good moment. As far as, AJ Styles was super hot at the time, and he was gravitating to becoming a face again. And so, it was a lot of feel good. But the Goldberg and Brock, that was the culmination of a feud, because Goldberg left the neck. He had his promo, he left. So it should be the culmination. We saw that kind of this year with the Seth Brock being a culmination, and the women's title match being a culmination. Of course there's title changes and things like that. I'm cool with that too. But really use WrestleMania to be a culmination. If you have Drew McIntyre beating Roman Reigns, WrestleMania is just not the good place for that. Let's see. Kimbo's asking, do you think they will build Kofi to a credible champion before losing the title? I think Kofi and Becky are just very similar. I think that they really mirror each other as far as their popularity at the time. And I think you just write it off. I think you just, at this point, I think you just kind of gauge the crowd. As long as there's Kofi Mania, if Kofi Mania lasts for 3 months, keep it on them. Keep the fans. And I've said this before. You can't play to the house. Vince Russo said this before. I've had him on my show twice. You can't play to the house so much, because first of all, you get to the point where the house rules everything, and fans can make very flippant decisions. We all know that they can make very flippant decisions. You play outside the house. You try to reach the casual fans. That's how you pull people in. You don't play to the house so much, because you have WWE lifers, right? So someone like, I don't mean to pick on anybody, but someone like Sunil Singh, you know what I mean? Like, he can become WWE champion, and people will complain. The house crowd, the lifers will complain, but they'll still be watching Raw. So, and a lot of us, who are journalists and even people who are fans, they will complain, but at the same time, they'll still watch it. So what do? You have, from a business standpoint, you have to play to the house. You have to play to the outside. That's the reason why I understood, and I was actually okay with Ronda Rousey being a part of the main event. If it was up to me, I think that this was kind of an exception. There's always exceptions to the rules. Well, most of the times there's exceptions to the rules when certain rules are laid out. There's exceptions to the rule when it comes to a lot of things, but I think you kind of play to the house at this point when it comes to that. I still think you should have, especially based on WrestleMania being there live, Kofi Daniel Bryan should have been the main event, because Kofi got the biggest pop of the night. The exception to the rule was also at WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan won, but at the same time you still had Batista, who was still a Hollywood name, so you still had that star power, the mainstream appeal at that point. But yeah, we'll see. I think they'll make him a credible champion as long as the fans are on the Kofi Mania craze. When they realize that the hype has died down, which unfortunately fans tend to do that. I've been a Kofi fan for a long time, ever since he started. But at the same time, I think when the fans cool down on it, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, whatever. That's when you pull the plug. I'd imagine like a SummerSlam or something like that. Really, really good Ask Chris questions. Let's keep them going. Hashtag Ask Chris. What else do we have here? Cody's asking, what do I think of the botch in WrestleMania? It was just it was just par for the course, really, because there were people leaving. I was ready to go, to be quite honest with you. I had a splitting headache. Like, my eye was hurting so bad because I had a splitting headache all on the side of my head into my eye. It was a splitting headache. So I couldn't even enjoy it. And I was cold. I was super cold. I wore a short sleeve hoodie because I looked at the weather. I thought it was going to be like, 50s. I know the high was like low 60s, but I thought it was going to stay, still a mild weather. It was bone chilling cold at WrestleMania, and I was so cold and uncomfortable in there. My seats were great. I'm thankful for that. I had floor riser seats. But I couldn't even enjoy it. I had to put my arms inside my hoodie because I was so cold, to be quite honest. So I wish I could enjoy it a little bit more, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid show overall, but I wish my head wasn't hurting so bad. Lexi's asking, ask Chris, do you have any intel on the potential backstage heat for Sasha? She left a cryptic message on Twitter and canceled an interview, a TV interview with Wendy Williams. That's a really good point. Tweet me on that. Of course, you know my Twitter is at Chris Prolific. I'll do some digging on that to see if there's any backstage heat with Sasha Banks. So now I do know that there's been some times where she's rubbed people the wrong way backstage. So I don't know if there's potential heat with this here. Gabe was asking, what is my thoughts about all the headlines like the Bret Hart attack, Enzo and Cass invasion? Now we'll talk about the headlines here soon. And as far as Enzo and Cass, we'll talk about MSG, the G1 Supercard. I was there too. Just real quick on that, I don't see Enzo and Cass bringing anything to ROH. They don't fit the mode at all. I mean, just at all. It's a weird thing to me. It really is. I think they would have fit the mode much better in AEW, because there really is no mode, so to speak, yet for AEW. Although it was announced that they'll be having weekly programming late this year, so that's cool. Like with a quote key, I think like a key channel or key programming channel or something like that. So they'll be having weekly content, which is a very big step for them. But you know, the invasion, I knew it was a work. As soon as I saw it, I was on the side that Enzo came in first and then Cass, and I was like, oh, this is totally a work, because you know, just moments before we saw what a shoot was when unfortunately Bret Hart was attacked at the Hall of Fame. I mean, security would have swarmed them. You would have had people, you know, you would have all the wrestlers do something. I was there. The Gorillas of Destiny didn't do anything. Tama Tonga and Tiger Lord just stood there and did nothing. Bully Ray came out, but I mean, it seemed like they wanted to kind of have a shoot feel, but to me it didn't really work that well as far as the shootness to it, because you could tell it was just a total work. So yeah. GSP saying, I'm going to be honest, I'm excited for Kofi, but with the New Day still around, that WWE Championship seems like an IC title, not Kofi's fault though. You know, I'm a big fan of New Day. I don't think the New Day should break up at all. I think that Kofi is much better in the faction. I think that Kofi as a singles wrestler didn't cut it. Kofi was a mid-carder, you know. And I've said this before, you know, you have your Ricky Steamboats in the WWE. In the annals of WWE history, you have your Ricky Steamboats, you have your Tito Santanas, you have your Greg Valentines. You know what I mean? You have the people, your Honky Tonk Mans. You have people who were just mid-card talent throughout their entire career. And you can even argue that with Jake Roberts. You know what I mean? He wasn't main eventing. He was just a really, really amazing mid-card talent who really ever main evented a show. You know, mostly because Hogan was the top babyface at the time, but Jake was a mid-carder. You know, he was one of the best ever, and one of the best wrestling characters ever, but he wasn't a main event talent. You could have thrust him in a main event easily, but at the same time, he was a mid-carder. If you look at the WWE career trajectory of Jake the Snake Roberts, he was a mid-carder. No matter how you slice it. I mean, his character was larger than life. He was one of the best ever, but how he was booked, he was a mid-card talent. I think with Kofi, I think that the New Day, because here's the thing, Big E is the best talker at the New Day. And I like Xavier's promos too. Xavier has good promos too. But with Kofi, you need Big E's charisma to feed on. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's kind of like the reverse it's kind of like the reverse effect going on right now. You have like Big E being kind of like a manager, because with heels back in the day, mostly heels, they could cut a promo kind of, but you had the heel manager being their mouthpiece and really pumping up the character, making them look larger than life even more. And you even see that now with Heyman and Lesnar. Without Heyman, Lesnar's character won't appeal, won't have that larger than life appeal as much as it has with Heyman being his mouthpiece. And I think the same thing with Andre. I mean, Bobby Heenan would cut a promo and make this guy, like, basically, I am promoting this guy. I'm making him look like a star. I'm making the world understand how big of a person this guy is. And then you give him the mic, and Andre will talk like this, and, put his hands out. And just something gimmicky, nothing big, very small, not some extended promo. He just kind of put the bow on a really good hype, a hype man. Like Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. Lashley's not a good promo guy. Fantastic in the ring. Big fan of Lashley. But Lio Rush is the promo guy. Makes him look good. And I think from a babyface standpoint, you have Big E as the mouthpiece for Kofi Kingston. And even Xavier Woods too. And that helps them. Because if the New Day split up, here's Evan Tech Prout. What's going on, Evan? Evan, how's it going, man? All right. I don't know what's going on here. I think Evan's on the phone. I'm not sure. I think
you hear me?
I can. Are you here?
I'm here.
All right. We're gonna jump right back into it. All right. So, like I was saying, So you have the New Day should not split up. Because you have Big E and Xavier Woods as the mouthpiece. If it wasn't for Big E and Xavier pumping up Kofi and the New Day being as over, like Kofi has this spot because of the New Day being over, not because of Kofi Kingston being over. Now, like I said, I've been a Kofi fan since day one. I think he deserves the championship 100%. That was my favorite part. I've said this many weeks. The reason why I'm excited about WrestleMania is because, as I predicted, Kofi Kingston will win the WWE Championship, and I'll be there to witness history. I've said this many times on the show. I've said it many times on social media. I love the New Day. And you can even ask my peers who are wrestling fans, who thought the New Day was a joke when they first started. I held on. I saw something good about it, and because I was already a Kofi and Big E fan. I liked Xavier Woods when he was Consequences, Creed, and TNA, and so forth. But at the same time, I was a huge Big E fan, and also a Kofi Kingston fan. I think the faction was a good thing for them. I think, and Vince McMahon is right, although he said it live, a few weeks back. He makes a good point. I mean, Kofi Kingston would not go, or Big E or Xavier, they would not go in the Hall of Fame individually at all. Big E can wrestle for 10 more years. Xavier would, especially Xavier. Xavier's very solid. I like Xavier a whole lot. But Xavier would not make the Hall of Fame as a singles wrestler. The New Day, shoe-in Hall of Famers as a faction. So you got to think about that. Why would you break them up if the New Day would go in the Hall of Fame, but I don't see either one of them going in the Hall of Fame individually? Evan Tech Proud, what you got, man?
Well, hey, brother, my voice a little shot. Got finished doing 4.5 hours on my show. This is the jump back on. Here the Pancakes and Powerslams.
Absolutely.
It's all good. Voss Kofi, man, this is talking about it. It was about Mania was about Kofi. If you took out Kofi and Daniel Bryan, but no one cared about this Mania, it will be on the line of WrestleMania 13. Split the New Day up. People was talking about it. You and I was together all weekend. People was inboxing me like, break up the New Day. One, New Day makes too much money.
Yeah, especially merch. Exactly. Yeah, one of the biggest merch sellers. Absolutely.
They broke Captain 4Kid Cena's record for merch sales.
Yep.
And like you said, Kofi winning is because of New Day. It's a package. It would be dumb to split them up.
Yep.
So it made sense. Some people thought, oh, why was the New Day, were they taking away the spotlight? No. I got back home, people were asking it. It made sense. It was a collective unit.
Mm-hmm.
Kofi winning and Xavier Woods and New Day, Botch New Day, Xavier Woods and Biggie being there with him.
Yep. His
kids being there. It was a feel-good moment. You had white people, black people, Asians, young, old, middle, Canes, all of that.
Absolutely.
People were crying, hugging, and happy. I think you and I were the only black people sitting in, no, it was you, me, and the other guy. We were the only three black people sitting in that long row. Everybody was happy. It was more than just race. It was a global feel-good moment. And then Mania died.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Mania died at the Kofi. Mania died.
Yeah. How did I sound, everybody? Because Monty is saying something's going on with my mic. I sound different. Let me know, guys, because people were saying I sound fine. Ezekiel Jackson is coming on in about 15 minutes. So yeah. That was an Ask Chris question. But can you hear me well, Evan?
Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. That's what people are saying, that they hear me fine. So let me know, guys.
Shout out to Kofi Kid. His oldest son, he's fiery. More charisma than some of the WWE locker room. Man, that little man jumped the top rope, get on top ropes, and doing signs and smiling.
Right. Is that better, guys? Let me know. Is that fine?
Yeah, sound good and clear.
I was talking about Billy Kay. I hear him fine, but it's okay. Is that fine, guys? Better. Hurry. Let me know. Let me know if that's better, guys. PNP Nation, let me hear it. Okay. It's better now, Malty says. Good stuff. You can hear me? Good. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Meltdown says yes. Zed says yes. Cody says yes. All right. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I think I was doing some testing earlier, like last week, I think, and I did turn it up a little bit much, but I think we're good now. All right, good Ask Chris questions. Let's address these before my boy Rycklon Stevens, aka Ezekiel Jackson, comes on. Yeah, I mean, good. Thanks, CC. Smash that like button. I agree. Thanks, man. Appreciate your support. Let me ask some of these WrestleMania. All those WrestleMania hoodies. Yeah, I tried to buy one of those WrestleMania hoodies because I was so cold. Because I had a short sleeve hoodie on, and I was so cold. So I kept. It was just a weird experience for WrestleMania, and well, yeah, it was a weird experience. And I went to like 4 merchandise tables, and all of the hoodies were sold out. So wasn't a big fan of that, unfortunately.
Guys, the true match was Featherstone versus the weather. Matter of fact, it was a lot of people versus the weather. It was cold. It was windy.
It was.
I mean, I had a big old coat on.
It was sprinkling.
I'm glad I bought it.
Yeah.
And it was. Featherstone was a trooper because he was in pain. But he went through the pain for you fans, for all of us. He went through pain tours and snares.
Yes, sir.
Cops.
Right.
Light.
Right.
He took 3 o'clock in the morning. Bubble gut.
Yeah, headache. Man. Headache. Splitting headache, dude. That's what I was telling them before. Like, my head was hurting so bad. Like, for those who looking at video right now, it was like from my ear. I felt it from like my ear to like my eye. Like, it was just a splitting headache. Like, both my ear and my eye were hurting. That's how bad my head was hurting. It was just a splitting like headache. And it was tough, man. It was really tough to sit there for 5.5 hours. We were there, and yeah, and the weather was just bone chilling cold, and
it was cold and windy.
Yeah, it was sprinkling too, and it was just yeah, it was terrible, man. And then I was trying, like I said, I was trying to buy a hoodie, and then and then all the hoodies were sold out. Yeah, as far as the weekend as a whole, it was and here's my synopsis on New York. So if you're from New York on the PNP Nation, let me know if you're from New York City. My first time there ever. I've been to Buffalo before. I really love Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I like West New York better than East New York. Yeah, as far as I like Buffalo rather than New York City. But it was a nightmare. I mean, the travel was. I interviewed the boys after MSG because Dalton Castle turned on them, and I interviewed them, and we were chatting. Real nice dudes, super duper nice dudes. Special shout out to the boys, super nice guys, real down to earth guys. I interviewed one of them last year. I interviewed both of them this year, and he was saying, man, he hated New York traffic. He's not a fan either, and he was just saying it's just too exhausting. It's just like when I was there, it was just like, oh, like here's the thing. I was just talking to someone today about New York. I said New York is good. My based on it being my first time there, my overall evaluation on New York is this. It is everything people say it is, both good and bad. That's basically how I feel. People say, don't drive in New York. If you can, walk, walk as much as you can. Take a train, take a bus, take a shuttle, whatever. Don't drive. And I 1,000,000,000% agree with that because it was a nightmare. On the flip side of that, though, one of the headlines we'll talk about is that you kind of want that. You kind of want that feel. You kind of want that being able to kind of control your own destiny when it comes to having a car, because people had to wait 3 hours after Mania until like 3:30 in the morning trying to get an Uber that I heard people were paying like $100, $200 a person to be at the taxi cabs and the Ubers and the Lyfts. They were paying over $100 just to get back to New York City, across the bridge. So I'm certainly glad that I had a car, and I didn't have to be at that. I didn't have to wait 3 hours after because of that. And I'll actually we'll talk about that in the headlines. I'll go a little bit more in depth in that, but that was the benefit of buying a car. And just overall, I had to bounce from place to place. I mean, I had to have a car because from Thursday to Sunday, I was bouncing back and forth from event to event to event all day, every day. And so I needed a car. It was, even from New York to, like, for instance, Thursday night, I went to the MLW event, the tapings, and then I had to hop over to Rahway, New Jersey, like an hour, 15 minutes away. I had to hop over there and go to the Impact event. And I was there till 1:30 in the morning. So I needed a car, but just the travel was just an absolute nightmare.
And I had the great pleasure of staying a whole Monday Night Raw episode at the bus station.
Yeah.
Which those 3+ hours did not seem as long as watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
I've been to New York City tons of times since 1995. I've been in the original Twin Towers, all of the landmarks, Penn Empire State Building, top of Rockefeller Center, Statue of Liberty, all that, Apollo Theater, NBC Studio. I've been through all of those private tours in upstate New York. But I told you, Chris, I was like, man, I've only drove in New York once, and it's crazy. The traffic, the food is great, the people are cool. It's just
food is absolutely delicious. Yeah,
food is great.
Yes.
You know, shout out to the cheesesteak, the cheapest Mania food in history so far that I've been.
I agree. One of the best concession stand foods, and the price weren't like they weren't trying to jack us up and pull an arm and a leg for the prices.
I had a foot-long cheesesteak sub with a cup of soda for $20. Then for $18, I got a nice thick hot Italian sausage with the works and a Mountain Dew. Just $18.
Yeah, not too bad. That would have been like $30 in another place. You get a hot dog for like $10.
And I don't even know what do we eat after. I think I ate chicken, and that was $7 chicken wings.
Yeah, not too bad. Gabriel's asking, Multi's asking, I read Enzo and Cass weren't friends anymore. Do you think the relationship has changed? They're probably, this is business. The thing, they were teaming up, Enzo was not happy that, as far as I remember, he wasn't happy of the injury and the way that, when Cass got injured, the way that he took that, and he just wasn't happy, and they had a falling out. But here's the thing. They both obviously need money. Unfortunately, Cass has been, he doesn't look the shape that he did in WWE, and he's been competing in various indie promotions, I'm sure making a fraction of what he did in the WWE. So, ROH is a reputable company, one of the best in the world. They need the money. And so it's business. So I'd imagine that they probably aren't as still close. But at the same time, it's like, you can't, like when the whole, was it Kevin Sullivan and Chris Benoit and Woman? When they were going through their thing, and when Matt Hardy and Edge and Lita, when they were going through their thing, those things were real life, but they still had to work together. Business is business. They still had to work together, although they were literally having affairs and cheating and all that stuff in personal life, but they had to work together in business. Let's see. Gabriel's asking, what do you think the future is for Eli Drake? Go to the WWE, AEW, ROH. Yeah, so one of our headlines is that, matter of fact, we'll talk about that in a minute, because that's one of the headlines. Cody's asking, what do you think about them going through with Angle versus Corbin? When John Cena was there, I don't really think it helps Corbin at all. Now, like I said before, Cena wrestling at this point is a liability. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to have Cena wrestling because of his movies and things like that. I think it was the perfect position for John Cena. Coming back with the 2002 Thugonomics, it was the best. To me, it was the best way that you could have used John Cena at WrestleMania. I don't want to see him wrestle. I don't really care about him wrestling. None of that really makes sense.
It is great. And shout out to Elias, who one night, gets the rub from Dr. Thugonomics, and then the next night he gets the rub from Taker. He had a hell of a two, like someone say, he had a hell of a 2 nights.
Yeah.
That's good there. That's like someone said, that was one of the best parts of Mania. It was Kofi, sum up WrestleMania 35. Kofi Mania, Dr. Thugonomics.
Yeah. Yep. Let me see some more here. Angle versus Corbin was was bad, and if you think about Raw, it was, to me, it was even worse because at the end of the day, Kurt Angle was fodder to Lars Sullivan. So I think Kurt Angle. I'm conversing with Ezekiel Jackson. I'm about to bring him on here. He was fodder to Lars Sullivan. And so I think if Kurt Angle would have won the match, it would have made Lars' debut more meaningful. Because of the point was, because at the end of the day, he beat up Corbin, put him in the ankle lock, and then he was fodder to Corbin. Was fodder to Lars. I would have been fine with him being. I'm cool with him being fodder for Lars. It just doesn't make sense that he lost the match, and he lost the match against Corbin, and he comes up and then gets decimated by Lars Sullivan. That just didn't make any sense. All right, so let's see. I'm conversing with Ezekiel to bring him on here in just a moment. All right, let's address a few of these. Let's see. Yeah, he's looking for me now. All right, so let's address a few of these. Ask Chris questions. Yeah, Tammy agrees. Got to keep them together. All right. All right, so I think that's what's up. Jesus. GHP is asking, would I consider a superstar shake-up prediction stream? I like it. I like it. Join the Patreon. We'll do that on the Patreon. Some live stuff on the stream, baby. All right, so he just contacted me through Skype, so I think we're going to bring him on in just a moment. Trying to get all this together. Let's see. He's trying to. Yep. There we go. All right, so. All right, just a moment. We're going to bring him on live. Via video. Getting all that together. All right, let's make sure I get a few of these extra questions before I bring on Ezekiel Jackson, Big Rick. Yeah, I like that idea, GHP, about the superstar shake-up. I'm a fan of that. So, alrighty then. Bringing this on here. I can hear whatever you're doing. Whatever you got playing, I can hear it.
And I'm almost done with my gallery wall.
All right, so we'll be right back, and once we return, we will have Ezekiel Jackson on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm good. What are we on? Video or are we on regular?
Video. Click on the video. See if we can
Blocked it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Are you? Did you click the video?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me check. Let me check some real quick. So when you click on the video, what does it do?
I see a completely dark screen.
Oh well, yeah, you'll see a dark screen for me because I'm using a video, but I'm trying to make sure that you are on video. So I just see RS when it comes to you.
How about, what is this now?
What's that?
Do you see anything now?
I don't. The video should be on the middle.
Yeah, clicked it twice. Every time I click it, it goes dark or it goes.
Okay, so it might not be working. It's all right. No worries, man. We'll make it happen. We shall make it happen. We can just do it audio, man. No worries. Just a moment. About to bring you on here to the live crowd, so we'll have some live crowd waiting,
Gotcha.
asking some questions, and we'll talk about Kofi and all that. Just a moment.
RJ. RJ. Check with my son. Maybe he knows more than I do.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
It's just poor network connection.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm doing this thing and he's not seeing my camera is not showing.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all, man. Let's we'll just
if we're gonna just do Skype, and maybe we'll just do the audio call on the Facebook then, because my son needs his computer.
I'm good right now.
Are you sure?
I'm good.
Okay.
How long you be on it?
Huh? Would it be easier to just do the Facebook call then?
We're live, so we can just jump right on there now. We can just start with the questions now. It won't be long, so we can just jump right into it.
That's cool, no problem.
All right, just a moment.
A few minutes. Interview.
Just a moment. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here live with Big Rick, Ezekiel Jackson, former WWE Intercontinental Champion, former ECW Champion. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. Just sitting on my recliner, enjoying being old.
Enjoy being old. Are we allowed to ask how old you are now?
I'll be 41 in 2 weeks, man.
41 in 2 weeks. So that makes me old because I'm not too far behind you. So. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're trying to get the video together, but it's cool, man. We're audio right now, so we'll do it. We already have some questions for you, but beforehand, we'll just ask your thoughts on Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship. It was an emotional night for a lot of people, and it was really awesome. I was there live, and you've made some comments on it, and we saw a lot of other wrestlers be ridiculously excited about it being such a historical moment, a feel good moment, and a WWE groundbreaking moment. What are your thoughts on it?
For me, first of all, there's only a few people in this business that I consider friends. Kofi is one of them. Mm-hmm. Kofi was my son's first time watching wrestling. Was Kofi in the ring, and my son got intrigued. This was 2008 down in Florida. So for me, this is more than just a wrestler achieving something that, in a sense, many of us didn't think was possible. Mm-hmm. So it was deeper for me. Hence, you've seen the video with MVP and Shad, and mm-hmm. these cats' reaction is because we're all friends, and we've ridden together. We still talk on a weekly basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was sadly, I think the reaction from us was, wow, they actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The whole him being the first black guy winning the championship, you're seeing a lot of kickback from it. It's like The Rock, The Rock said it himself, he transcended the title, whereas a lot of people, I don't think, realized that he was a black dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the WWE sold it more so from his Samoan heritage. He did, he showed pictures of his dad and all that stuff. But I think for Kofi, as big as The Rock made it, I think Kofi's kind of solidified this as, all right, they're going to try something different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that's where I saw it from, is Booker won the WCW and the heavyweight championship. Mark won that. Bobby, myself, Mark, we all got the ECW World Championship, IC titles and all that stuff. But it seemed like they wanted to pull the trigger for nobody concerning this WWE title. Yeah. And I think that's what made it special for all of us.
I agree. And to your point, I think that there were other black stars that, were on that type of push and had that type of ability to. I mean, Booker T's one of my favorite all time, it still boggles my mind how
Triple H didn't give it to him way back when.
Yeah. It was just I think that's still one of the, and I've talked about this on my show before. I think that was one of the worst decisions, one of the worst finishes in WrestleMania history. To actually, and that was even for the World Heavyweight Championship. He had that, but still Triple H beat him at a WrestleMania. Still, that was a bad call. But I still think that the WWE Championship and even King Booker, that was one of the best gimmicks, if not the best gimmick at that time.
Yep.
As a heel, and they gave him the World Heavyweight Championship, sure. But at the same time, that will always be a secondary championship to the WWE Championship.
Yeah,
and that's even how they plugged it, right? That's even how they marketed it, to still be second fiddle to the WWE Championship. And of course, you had Mark Henry and Booker T winning it, yes, but at the same time, it's like that was still clearly the secondary championship.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's still not, you know, some people could say, okay, former WWE, when they add like Cena's reigns and things like that, and Triple H's reigns and Randy Orton's reigns, they add the World Heavyweight Championship with it. But at the same time, it's still clearly not the WWE Championship, and I think
that's the brand. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
and why do you think that the WWE held back for so long? And like I said, and you agree, it wasn't because of a lack of talent, because you know there's been very reputable black stars for decades. I mean, even if you go back to the likes of Junkyard Dog, you know, back in the late 80s, JYD was, I mean, he came out of Mid-South and he was a star in Mid-South. I mean, Watts built him to be the biggest name in Mid-South, the biggest babyface. Came out of that, and then he was just so gimmick. He was just so gimmicked in WWE that it just was ridiculous. Tony Atlas was another person, huge. You know what I mean? Just so we've seen world champion caliber black stars for at least 4 decades. You know what I mean? but they never pulled the plug until now. Why do you think they waited so long?
I'm not going to try to get in the head of the business aspect of this business. I never try.
Yeah.
And for, you know, the boss to interject himself into this is like I think he finally saw something that was happening. And I'm like, Kofi's been on this level for years.
Very true.
You know what I mean? In all his matches, he was funny and gimmicky with the New Day. But when he did the Jamaican thing, he was great. When he teamed up with Punk, and when he feuded with Randy, he's always been top caliber in the ring. You know, fans can get behind him when he's losing, and they can cheer him when he's on the comeback. So I think the thing that solidified it was the first gauntlet match. Yes. You know, it was, holy crap, these people are really behind this dude. So, you know, I wish I could get into their head, but I don't, and I try not to because it'll probably drive me crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So right now, I just watch it as a fan, and I'm like, thank God they pulled the trigger on Kofi, and it's somebody that is going to represent well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know why they took this long. I think they had chances. They were building. You know, you could say they were building Ahmed. They were building.
Ahmed, that's a good one.
You know what I mean? They were. We could name MVP. That. You know, I don't want to toss myself in there because I don't think I got the kind of run that I would think it. But then they say Ahmed MVP. You know, heels. If you wanted a heel champ for Hogan, come on, Bad News Brown.
Oh yes, absolutely, Bad News Brown. Yeah.
You know, so it's been years, and as you know, we all as fans just have to accept that this is where we are now.
That's correct.
And I'm happy that he, you know, if of anybody they pulled the trigger on, it was Kofi.
I 100% agree with you. I think if there's anybody that would break that type of, you know, field, that type of streak would be, you know, to me, and I agree with you, I think Kofi would be the person to do it, because there was such an organic story, still is such an organic story.
It happened perfectly.
Yeah, it sure did.
It felt like, you know, I fell in well, like right at the time, and it was like, however we want to say it, if it was just time, and it worked well. So, you know, but again, the tears of joy from myself, and, you know, it's like the first time my whole family sat and watched a match. Like, it's usually me, and my son will come in and out, and my daughter may sneak in if she heard me cheering too loud. But my wife came in, and my son, and we as a family, because friends with, you know what I mean? And for them to pull the trigger was like, holy crap. You know what I mean?
and it breaks so many.
I beat my head off in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the funny thing and the crazy thing about all this is that Mustafa Ali. So here's the crazy thing. Indirectly, we have to thank Randy Orton for this, right? Because Mustafa Ali was supposed to be in the gauntlet. Orton accidentally gave him a huge black eye and injured him because I think it was like he did the stomp or something like that, or kicked him, jacked up his eye. So he was injured. And because of Mustafa Ali, or Ali now he is, because of Ali's injury, Kofi was placed in there.
Yeah.
And he did the gauntlet. And this all came out of a plan B, not even supposed to be in there. Ali's injured. Then he did the gauntlet, and the fans were erupted because because of his showing in the gauntlet. And it's just so crazy how that worked out. How if Ali wasn't injured, if Randy Orton didn't injure Ali, none of this would even happen. I mean, that's crazy to me. How that worked out.
But again, it worked out. Ali probably will get his couple of chances, but
yeah, I agree.
It worked out well, man. Sorry for Ali, but
but he'll get his time.
He got a chance to shine, and he took it and ran with it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Ali will get his chance to sign anyways. I mean, Kofi's been there 11 years, so Ali will have his time for sure. How long do you think Kofi keeps it? I
don't know. Did they take it off him tonight? I didn't watch.
No, that's a good point. No. There were some people who was fearing that they were taking it off yesterday.
Yeah.
And that would have been absolutely horrible. I was, it's so funny because the fans kind of pooped all over the bar coming out, and I cheered. I was like, I hope that there's a screwy finish with this, because I was so disappointed when they did that. When Kofi came out and did the winner take all, I said, no way. They can't. They can't be doing this. They can't, because I don't see Kofi beating Seth if Seth just beat Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that just automatically disqualifies Kofi from winning. And so I'm like, no way. They're not going to do this with Seth Rollins. And so I'm glad. I was like, I hope that there's some type of screwy finish or something. And then when they went ahead with I was just trying to justify everything in my head. Like, I hope that there's a screwy finish. I hope that there's a double pin, like something. You know what I mean?
Something to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. And I was so happy when the bar came out. The live crowd hated it, but I as a Kofi fan, I was like, yes, I'm so glad that they didn't do this. And WWE kind of spoiled it too, because during Raw, they announced, even before the winner take all match.
Tomorrow Kofi will be.
Exactly. They announced on Raw that tomorrow Kofi will have a SmackDown celebration. So I said, okay, that's as good as a marketing company WWE is. They spoiled their own finish. Ask Ezekiel. We have some hashtag Ask Ezekiel questions.
Wow.
Malty's asking, what was your reaction when you found out you're going to win the ECW title and Intercontinental title?
Wow. Man, they're going way back. Funny story, ECW title was in Kansas City, I think. And I got there to the arena. I thought I was going to get it at the Royal Rumble, but it was in Kansas City. And I got there, and I think my wife had called me and told me how much I got for a European tour. So I was way more excited by the money I got for the European tour than finding out. I think my agent for the final match was IRS.
Oh, nice.
It comes out, he's like, Zeke, I think they're going to put the title on you. And it's like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. But then I called my wife, and she's like, oh, you got this? And I was like, oh, wow. So
I agree. Yeah, I would have that same reaction.
Again, it's one of those things where it was bittersweet because I knew it was like, cool, I'm winning the title, but then NXT is going to be starting right after.
True.
You know what I mean? So I could be a pessimist and be like, I was champ for 56 seconds, or an optimist and say I've been a champ for almost 9 years now.
That's true.
So,
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
So, that was the reaction for that. The IC title, that told me, once we started the feud with the core and myself, and it told me, it was like, cool. Because, when you get that title, it's like, okay, they're preparing you for something bigger and better. So I'm like, I assume they saw something leading towards that level. Mm-hmm. So that's what as IC title was like, okay, this is a stepping stone to get to this level. Yeah. And so that's the reactions I had on winning before both of them. Was like, but bittersweet on the ECW title. Was like, great, they see me as a champ, and so that means they see something in me. And just the expectations beyond what these two represented is what I think I celebrated more.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Now that's a really good piggyback to go on here. Now you said you won the ECW championship, and knowing that ECW was going to be disbanded. Now, how far out did the wrestlers know that the ECW run was going to be over?
I think once they started announcing NXT. Okay. Once they started talking of that story, I think they started promoting that show. We kind of figured out it was we knew it was replacing NXT was replacing ECW. I think it was on Sci-Fi. Yeah. So we kind of knew that was coming. So yeah, once they started announcing it, we figured it out.
Got it. Now, were y'all told that this is done? Like, who was there a backstage meeting from somebody, and they said that they're are going to be split through Raw and SmackDown? How did that go?
It was just I think after ECW finished, I think that same night they showed let me see. No, I actually think I went to Raw first, and ended up being transferred to SmackDown or something. I can't remember, man, because I think within a couple of weeks I tore my quad, so I ended up being at home for 6 months.
Yeah. Huh. All right, so we got some more really good questions here. Got Lexi asking, first, thank you for being a pioneer. Tony Atlas recently did a podcast stating that no black wrestler was ready, quote, ready for that title, even him. How did you receive his comments?
Which title?
The WWE Championship.
So he didn't feel like Kofi was ready?
He said that recently did a podcast saying that no black wrestler was ready for that title, I guess, in his day.
Okay. One of the first people that spoke to us at FCW was Tony Atlas, and he told his story of his ups and downs. So I don't know if I feel like he probably was speaking for himself, or if the culture at the time, I can't speak for Tony. Mm-hmm. Much love and respect for him for all he did, but he's got to be speaking for himself, because if you listen to his story or you get his story, he'll tell you how he messed it up for himself. True. On many occasions. Yeah. So I don't know if he's just pushing that off on guys back then. And if, a lot of these cats knew themselves in the locker room, they knew each other in the locker room. Mm-hmm. You could ask me about, something in the locker room from my time, and I could probably speak on that, but I can't speak for exactly what he was trying to say.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that there were names that were ready. Junkyard Dog was feuding with Ric Flair for a moment for the WCW Championship. Of course, you had Ron Simmons, winning in 92. And I think that, Ron Simmons could have been someone that could have groomed into being a champion. He had, when he was at WWE, he feuded with Taker and Austin, right? So he had opportunities. Like you said, Ahmed was another person too. I think when they turned Ahmed heel I think that was the beginning of the end. Because it just, I don't know, when he joined the Nation, there's certain turns that you just know, it just seems weird. It just seems like plugging the square peg in the round hole. I think when he was a baby face, like he was way over as a baby face.
Yeah, it's something I've heard it said by a few of the refs that were there. Mm-hmm. Some of the guys that they were saying that the only person comparable to Ahmed's to Stone Cold's reaction was Ahmed. Mm. That's something I've heard. So I can't, for that time when Ahmed was running, I was in college and I don't think I had cable. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't watching Raw. I think I was more of a SmackDown guy.
Got it.
But yeah, so they've had people. I can't speak for Tony Atlas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, last question. Gabriel's asking, how was your time working for Lucha Underground?
It was easy, man. I was in LA. I lived in LA. I would drive there Saturday morning, drive back home, tape Saturday, get back home by 6 p.m. For the first couple of weeks, Sundays. They try to make it something different, and it worked for the most part, but I think with trying to make it a TV show that has wrestling, it kind of turned away a lot of wrestling fans. You know what I mean? So it was like, we're not creating stars. We're not trying to, do what the typical wrestling was doing. Yeah. So I think that kind of turned away. I think they were trying to bring a set of people in that weren't fans, and the fans saw that, and I think they reacted as such. It's like, oh, this is good stuff. It was great for the first couple of seasons. The wrestling was ridiculous. Everything we saw was like, holy, I can't believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I was there in some of these matches or just watching from monitors. It's like, did he just really do that?
Right.
I started with Puma and John Morrison and, and the cats like Drake, Drago?
Yep, Drago. Yep. Mm-hmm.
A lot of these cats had talents that was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I think
Jack Evans was another one that was really good.
Well, he came in at the end.
Yeah.
So Jack Evans, I've known him since my first week at FCW. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just some of the stuff was just ridiculous. But I think with them not marketing it in a sense to wrestling fans, it's away from what it could have been.
Yeah.
Are they even shooting another season? I don't even know.
It's up in the air now. It's up in the air. I've spoke with PJ Black, and it's really up in the air. I spoke with I'm friends with Marty Elias too. He used to be there, and a couple other people I've asked about this, and they said that they don't know. they don't know yet, and I've had John Morrison on the show too. And no one really knows, unfortunately. However, here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is they actually had a joint show at Impact United We Stand. Impact Wrestling had a show called United We Stand during WrestleMania weekend, the Thursday night, and they actually plugged Lucha Underground. It was like a combination of a bunch of promotions all in one. It was Impact, MLW, Russell Pro, and Lucha Underground. So there's still some life there. Marty the Moth, he came out representing Lucha. who else came out? AR Fox, well, he goes by Dante Fox in Lucha. He came out. There was a few other Lucha stars that came out representing the brand. So it was a good show, and it seems like maybe there's some type of working relate. Well, obviously there is, since it was part of the the WrestleMania weekend event. There's some working relationship with Lucha. So that's good. I think that's good.
I think, man, for the first season I was there, it was really everything. It was easy going. It was, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
I made some suggestions, and for me, I felt like I was just, again, I started this interview with feeling old. Mm-hmm. Wanted to be more than just a wrestler.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like, I tossed the net out and nothing was bit. So hence why I kind of was like, I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with shifting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that's why I ended up just not even returning for this season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
JSP saying, at least Zeke remembered to say monitor. If you say TV, Vince will pop a top.
I know. See, that's something I didn't know.
Speaking of that, before we go, I'm interested to see, is there any, because it's been public a lot, there's a lot of things that Vince and WWE as a whole, they tell their media and they tell their wrestlers not to say, like belts. You can't say belts. You have to say titles. I think you can't say World Wrestling Entertainment or something like that. You have to say WWE, or you can't say wrestlers. You have to say sports entertainers.
Yeah.
Is there something that you remember saying or hearing somebody say it, and Vince wasn't a fan of that verbiage being said?
That would be me sitting and listening on a monitor and listening to him tell Cole and them what to say. I think that's more personal. Good for me to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
But you'd get the meetings where, okay, guys, we're shifting from belts to title.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for that, but man, if you think of it, I've been gone off the WWE road since 2012.
Wow, 7 years.
It's been 7 years almost for me. So the changes you've seen, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
What the reaction is like anymore, or what is what. So for my moment there, I just knew they had to change my name a few times.
Mm-hmm.
People got mad because they were calling me Big Zeke. So it was like Ezekiel Jackson is his name, and so it's just different things like that where you're told, okay, we got to call you this. We're changing you from Harlem, New York to Guyana, South America, and just stuff like that was, nothing major. But it's a business, and they want to maintain it in their own way.
Yeah.
I've never felt like, this is wrong because, it's like it's a business. He's running his business the way he and the group and the team. Because it's not just him sitting there dictating. It's like, how do we make this thing matter to us? And I just trust that they're doing it to support themselves. Mm-hmm. They should just keep flowing.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Zeke, Rick, it's been a pleasure, man, being on the show. Let people know where to find you on social media.
My Instagram page is Rycklon, RYCKLON.
Mm-hmm.
We're friends on my Facebook page.
Yep. Which
is Rycklon S. Stevens. But man, I'm cool with what I'm doing now, which is I got my business, my personal training business, and I run a wrestling school.
Yeah.
So if you search Brick House Pro, that's my wrestling page, BRYCKHOUSE Pro. But yeah, I'm okay. Everything's cool, man. Nothing coming up. Just chilling, being an old dude, watching news every night. My daughter just called me old before you call. She said, Dad, you're always watching news like an old man. I'm like, I'm an old man. Leave me alone. where my parents used to be way back when.
I could just picture you in 20 years as on your couch with the remote, still probably jacked as all get out. But
yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Hold on to the muscles and watch TV.
There you go. Sounds good. Rick, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure, probably no problem, man. Have a good one.
You too, bye. Rycklon Stevens, thanks for being on the show, man. That was fun. Thanks, everybody. All right, so let's tackle a few of these headlines. Let's see here. I think we got the headlines music. We got everything for Plan B now, man. Plan B is the way to go. I'm a big fan of Plan B. All right, headlines. Y'all ready for the headlines? Well, let's do it. Headlines, ladies and gentlemen. I do it for you. I got one.
I do it for you.
Absolutely, I do it for you. All right, so Harlem Heat, man, they two-time Booker T Hall of Famer. So they're the Hall of Fame altogether. I think that I watched the Hall of Fame, and I think it was a good Hall of Fame. I think that even with Tori Wilson, controversial, still to me controversial. I think her speech was good. DX speech was good. It was funny. Man, I felt for Pac, man. He was just so daggone nervous, and it just seemed like Triple H just really wanted to keep the reins on him, man, and just make sure that he's not saying something crazy. Yeah, he wanted to keep it PG as much as he could. I mean, there were some things that they say outrageous too, but yeah, it was funny. And then Triple H's digs on AEW, yeah, it was crazy.
Overkill to me, man.
Yeah.
It was all of that needed. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I agree. And I said this before. I was talking to someone. Someone asked me, why do you think he was doing that? I think that's probably was a part of the deal. Like, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame, but if, we're going to have you make this appearance, but if one of the things is that we're going to have to, we're going to dig AEW, and Billy Gunn probably, he's a class act. If I don't want to show twice, he probably was like, okay, whatever. I'm a man. I got tough skin. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And he took it in stride, man. He looked like he was just joking with him. So big kudos for that. As far as Supercard of Honor, a really good show. Evan and I were both there in the Madison Square Garden. Fantastic show, man. I personally think it was better than WrestleMania. I think TakeOver was the best show of the weekend. I was at MSG. I wasn't at TakeOver. I was at the Battle Riot. I was at the MLW show, which was also a pretty good show.
It was cool. Couldn't breathe. It was small.
Yeah,
small space, but it was a good show.
It was a good show. I was surprised that LA Park won the Battle Riot though. Like it just, yeah. It was quite interesting. It was a good Battle Riot though. It was fun. I saw the last one, 2018 one. It was a good show too. But I was at MSG and really enjoyed the Supercard, even from the battle, from the Honor Rumble, to I'm a big fan of Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb and Zack Sabre Jr. was amazing. Not Zack Sabre Jr. but Will Ospreay. Ospreay made Tanahashi tap, which was very surprising. Still a really good match. It was a really good show. I think just from top to bottom. I didn't have a headache. that on that show I didn't have a headache, and I wasn't cold because it was inside the Gatton.
It was warm.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what else was on that card. Yeah, Jeff Cobb beating Ospreay. Zack Sabre Jr. beating Tanahashi. We talked about the end zone casting. It was a work. But, but the Guerrillas of Destiny becoming dual champions now. Very interesting. Beautiful people reforming. They did. But Velvet Sky said before that there was some, she's retired. She doesn't want to come back to wrestling at all. I mean, like, as far as in-ring competition. I don't know if this means that she's out of retirement, because she's made it very clear in interviews over the past few years that she doesn't have a desire to wrestle. Angelina Love's still killing it, in indies and things like that. Mandy Leon as the third person of the Beautiful People. Now, to me, this is weird, because I don't see Mandy, like, to me, she just doesn't fit. She just don't fit.
I'll say that too. With me knowing Mandy personally over the years, and knowing her mom, and she's always been good talent, and following her for a good number of years. She always, to me, Mandy always worked better by herself.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, she just doesn't mesh well with other people. Not she's a good person, but just her character, just not one of. Some people just don't work well in a group.
Yeah.
And I think Mandy just is one of those people. Her character isn't over the top like a Piper. Can y'all imagine Piper in a group when a stable doesn't work? Some people just work better solo, and that's how I feel Mandy.
Yeah.
Mandy is.
I agree. And real quick, people are talking about favorite speeches from Hall of Fame. Harlem Heat was my favorite speech.
Harlem Heat, man.
But yeah, I don't agree with I don't agree with her being, beautiful people. And go ahead.
I gotta give a shout out to C, because C is a good friend of mine and some colleagues that's helped us out in the business, and I'm really proud of her. C is one of the few people like a Foley, like a Sting, like a Rey Mysterio, just certain people that everyone in the business loves, and everyone has nothing but good things to say about. She's one of them.
That's awesome.
So I gotta give C number T personally. After Harlem Heat, sucker, slapjack.
Suckers got the dough. Ken, I'm not gonna leave you hanging, man. Chat isn't saying hi. I guess they didn't see your comment, but I'm saying the host is saying hi to you, so I don't want you to feel left out. But there we go. There you go, Lexi. Of course, Lexi would be the one.
By Google.
Yeah. So, yeah, Harlem Heat. But as far as MSG is concerned, Jay Lethal's my favorite, and he lost. But here's the thing: I was cool with Taven winning, though. I was cool with it. I think the story spoke for itself. The build's been a while of him being the real Ring of Honor champion, and Lethal's had it since I think last June. So he's had it for almost a year, and before then he had it for a long time too. So Yano's still in the titles, and Yano actually giving Colt Cabana the Honor Rumble spot and commentating, which was really funny. But yeah, and I think that Matt Taven being champion makes sense. I mean, he's the biggest heel in Ring of Honor right now. Huge heel, a fantastic heel. He gets jeered. No one likes Matt Taven, although he did get some cheers. But smarky crowd, they're going to do that. But makes sense. Yeah, I'm totally cool with it, and I predicted it. As Evan was right next to me, I called it. I said I think Taven's going to take this one, and he did, and I'm cool with it. So
I got a pick with you, brother. Your man Jay Lethal, your boo bear. But Jay, I love Jay. Jay that bump he took falling off the ladder, man, that was tough. The ladder match was good. Shout out to Marty Scroll too, and my good buddy Shane Taylor, man. You know, he just had his third or fourth child. Well, him and his wife, I should say, his wife gave birth to that third or fourth child, like maybe like last month. And I know how hard Shane works, so I'm proud of Shane. I'm proud of my men, the twins. God, she gonna kill me. Man, they was at Ring of Honor. I think they was in the Rumble. They finally was at Garden. Like I had a lot of personal friends, professional friends too, that I've known for years that made it to wrestle in the Garden. So I say, TakeOver is number one. G1 is like 1A because I had personal connections, and you know, Mania.
Yeah, I agree. That was my list too. TakeOver, G1, and then Mania as the top three. Yeah, Gabriel, a fan did get hit by a ladder, and they were saying they were chanting that's a lawsuit. If y'all didn't hear watching it on Honor Club at live, they were chanting that's a lawsuit. And I was like, "Oh no! Like that's crazy."
Wow, I would have milked that to death.
Yeah,
I would have milked that.
But you know, it was a suitable replacement because Jay's my favorite. Jay Lethal's my favorite, but Okada is right up there. He's in my top three. And Okada. What's that?
What is Jay Lethal to you? What's the name I give him?
I'm not gonna say it because I don't like it.
It's your Boo Bear.
No, he's simply my favorite wrestler. My wife is my Boo Bear. My Boo Bear is not named Jay Lethal. That's right.
And the little fattest soul. The real Boo Bears.
The real Boo Bears. That's exactly right.
Trying to stick with you.
Yeah.
Say to the Boo Bears in the wrestling business. Larcy, where you at? She's a female. Her Boo Bear. Ken Terminator by Google and MySpace. Zed's led Boo Bears for wrestling.
Yeah, I think Jay Lethal, of course Jay Lethal is my favorite wrestler. I've made that very clear for a long time. And but the good thing is Okada is number three.
Oh, yeah,
He's in my top three. So Okada winning actually it atoned for Jay Lethal losing. I knew I was expecting Jay Lethal to lose, so it wasn't a big blow to me. Okada winning.
Where was the confetti? Like we did the Rainmaker entrance. I was looking for that, man.
Yeah, I was looking for that too. The money that dropped down. People were talking about that. They were waiting for that, but it was cool. It was a really good moment of him beating Jay White for the title. It was a good moment, and that's what I love about New Japan. They're a big fan of catering to the feel good moment. That's what they do at Wrestle Kingdom a lot. They cater to the feel good moment. That's the times that Okada won and Kushida and things like that. Speaking of Kushida, he's signing with WWE. Well, he did. He did. There was a sign of a picture of him with I think with Triple H or something like that. But I'm not okay with that. And then TakeOver is, oh man, what a fantastic, what a fantastic spot. It was a fantastic show, man. The main event was amazing with the 2 out of 3s between Gargano and Cole. My favorite was Velveteen Dream against Matt Riddle. And then Ricochet and Aleister Black against War Raiders. I'm a War Raiders fan, so I'm glad they got the W.
Didn't they wrestle Raw, SmackDown, TakeOver, and Mania?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? They wrestled Friday night, and then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Very, very crazy schedule for Aleister Black and Ricochet. They need to go home and sleep the whole entire day. But Aleister Black will be busy with Zelina Vega, with his Boo Bear. Can
you imagine if Ricochet read the Vince and walked in the Prince Puma gimmick and he had no idea? Well, what is this?
He probably don't know that he was
Vince has no idea.
Yeah.
Vince didn't know who. Can't tell the difference between Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson and Midnight Express.
No, but here's the funny thing: he didn't know that Luke Gallows was Festus.
Right? I was going to mention that. Right?
He didn't know. Yeah, that's crazy. There's an Ask Chris question. Oh, yeah, Lexi's asking, considering the void of athleticism left by Ronda's departure, do you believe Shayna Baszler not being caught up was a mistake? I don't. I think Baszler should stay in NXT. To me, there's certain people that should really stay in NXT for a long time.
Velveteen.
I think Dream should stay in NXT. I think don't call him up until he gets a world title reign. Lars being called up makes perfect sense. He is the quintessential guy that Vince loves that look. So I love it. Yeah, he loves it, and so it makes sense. He's huge. He's a monster. But there's certain
off with the red tape.
There's certain people that need to stay there for a while. I think Apollo Crews, he should have stayed there for a while. Tyler Breeze, of course. Although I do like Breezango, but they on the grander scheme of things, they really didn't do much. And there's a bunch of other people that should have stayed there. For those who are still there, I think that Dream should be there for a while. I'm glad that they kept Gargano there because they were teasing Gargano actually coming up to Raw. I'm glad they kept him on in NXT because I don't see Gargano past 205 Live, which I think will actually be a step down from NXT, a big step down actually from NXT. Yeah. Speaking of 205 Live, I was at Access. I was doing some coverage at Access on Friday, and I saw a match between Albert Hardy Jr. against Mike Kanellis. Albert Hardy Jr. is ACH. So
yeah, good dude. Yeah, dude has been. Remember at Shenanigans 2 years ago, we had that 3-hour conversation with ACH. Matter of fact, we spoke to him when we got the Mania on the floor seats. We came through. He said hi to us.
Yeah, he was right over there. Yeah. Kimbo said he feared for the Undisputed Era. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that UE. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on that. James said WWE could have done so much with the Kurt Angle and retirement. I agree. I think, like I said before, Baron Corbin is just a weird person. I personally think they should have done, if they want to build Roman Reigns to be a face, and he was getting booed at Raw last night, which I think is terrible. Just people want to get themselves over. I said this early in the show. I think they should have switched it. I think they should have done Kurt versus McIntyre, because McIntyre was the one who just annihilated Kurt and beat him with his own move on Raw. You keep having Kurt win the matches, the Farewell Tour. I'm cool with that. They should have done Drew versus Kurt. They should have had Drew go over on Kurt and then Roman go over on Corbin. Because Corbin is a heat magnet. You want a big heat magnet to absorb all the heat, and Roman Reigns would have continued to get cheered. Corbin didn't need the win. As we saw with Lars, he didn't need that. He didn't, beating Kurt Angle didn't do anything because of what happened on Monday after Raw. So I think that Roman and Corbin should have been at WrestleMania, and then Kurt and Drew just annihilating Kurt Angle. That would have been my thought. All right, for the sake of time, let's get into really quick Mania as a whole. Like I said, a good show. I wish I would have enjoyed it more. Triple H and Batista was a long match. I think it was the longest match on the card. Yeah, which I knew that was going to happen because that's Triple H, man. He's going to have the long entrance and a long match. But overall, I think it was a really solid show. I'm just not, like I said, this might be an unpopular opinion. The Iconics just don't connect with me on the main roster. They just don't. I think that they were really good in NXT, but I don't think that they've built themselves up to be title contenders. So that didn't make sense to me. And Demon Finn didn't connect with me either. And like I said before, because of the Raw announcement, I think we should have gotten surprised by it. Didn't really.
He's a Pokemon. That's exactly what he is. He's a Pokemon. He's the Irish Curse Finn, and his regular Finn, Irish Curse Finn, LBDGTYJ Finn, then the Demon Finn, and then back to everybody smiling Finn, then the Fawns Finn with the jacket. Now it's the Demon King. What did he do? No one cared about the match. We were tired. People were sleepy. He was ready to go home. It was cold. It was windy. Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
It was cold, windy, tired, and hungry.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing with the Roman and Drew match. Two awesome stuff. Two really solid competitors. Two of my favorites, but it was at a dead spot. It was just at a really bad spot, and like I said, it was no incentive to the show, to the match. It was no incentive. Like, it was just, hey, I've been beating up your boys. I'm gonna beat you up now. I'm gonna challenge you. It was no incentive at all. At least there was something. At least with AJ and Orton, it was like WWE guy versus indie guy, and I liked that angle. I liked how they built that. I really liked that. If it's just a singles match, bring me in. Have me intrigued. Let me, make me kind of feel and be involved in the angle. With Roman and Drew, it was just, hey, all right, there's a match. It wasn't. Trivia. What was JBL's last WrestleMania, and who did he compete against?
Weren't you happy to see Jibble? Weren't you safe to know that he couldn't delete you from WrestleMania? Because he's like deleting everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, he is. Now, I did like all the gay the guest commentators. So good job, JSP. Good job, James. WrestleMania 25 were submitted. Mysterio, Black Star, good job. Kimbo, good job. Next one. What was the championship match at WrestleMania 8? What was the WWE championship match at WrestleMania 8? I'm glad Joe squashed Rey Mysterio. He was nursing an injury. And it made Joe look like a monster. So, all right, Raw and SmackDown. Bayley's back on the low totem pole, losing against Alexa Bliss. Just being a jobber, unfortunately.
Right.
We talked about the Hawkins and Ryder Revival, Lars and Rollins. Lars and Rollins and Kingston. I'm glad that they didn't do that. And then Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. Yeah, I'm okay with that. As far as what happened, the sucker punch, I'm still not sold on Lacey Evans. However, her sucker punching Lynch on Raw, on SmackDown, and she actually selling it, I think that was good. She sold too much on Raw, I think. If you want to make her look like a star, she already has, you know, kind of a strike or two, you know. She already has a strike or two because people just aren't sold based on what they saw at the Rumble. Her Rumble performance was bad, and I think based on that, they left a pretty negative stench. So we'll see how that goes. Hope she's improved, but I don't see it. Brandon, there it is. Randy Savage, oh yeah, versus Ric Flair. All right, one more. Let's do one more. Who tagged with Dusty Rhodes against Randy Savage and Queen Syria at WrestleMania 6, baby? I teamed up with my queen with Sapphire there it is, Brandon. I teamed up with Sapphire, baby. Sapphire. Yeah, the Black Ebony Queen Sapphire, baby. Tag team with her, with Queen Sarah and Randy Savage, baby. Alright, so alright, so there we go. I think, let's see if there's any more Ask questions. Lexi's asking, with the shakeup booming, who do you feel would be in the program for WWE with Universal and WWE title changes? I would be totally fine with Seth versus Drew. 100% fine with that. Funny that we saw no Daniel Bryan, which was really odd. Just lost the title. It would make sense for us to see him in some form or fashion. And of course AJ was injured. Well, based on he got sent home early. He didn't make the accesses, and from what I've heard, and had to be sent home early. I guess he was injured in some form or fashion. So I would have personally liked Kofi AJ. Keep them both face. Although AJ is starting to get booed a little bit. I mean, fans are so fickle, man. Talking about Daniel Bryan, fickle. People were booing AJ Styles, and you know he was impenetrable, you know, for a while, even when he was a heel in many cases. I would be okay with Seth and Drew, and on the SmackDown end, I'll be cool with Kofi. I think you do a filler feud. I think you do Kofi versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's getting all this heat and during all these boos. Kofi and Sami Zayn, because right now you need filler until SummerSlam. Save the big feud for SummerSlam. So I think filler. I think Seth Drew should be SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. As far as if Kofi keeps it to SummerSlam, I think it should be. I say like a Kofi versus. If you want to do DB again for the for the rematch, or you can do something like a. Maybe I think Kofi AJ. I'll be cool with Kofi AJ for SummerSlam. Maybe AJ win the Money in the Bank and say that he's going to cash it. You know, announce his cashing at SummerSlam or something like that, something to that nature. Or AJ can win a. I like the element surprise when it comes to Money in the Bank, so maybe AJ can win like a battle royal or something like that, or a #1 contender gauntlet or tournament or something like that. So make it work. Those would be my two matches. SmackDown, I think, was better than Raw. And I think Braun Strowman coming out for Samoa Joe. I like Braun and Samoa Joe. I like that. I like that matchup. It's just that to me it was just really weird.
Doesn't make sense. The brand split doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And I'm thinking in my head, why are you plugging the superstar shakeup for next week, and superstars are just bouncing from Raw and SmackDown? That just makes no sense.
DLC. Ray downloaded last week. He got hurt. Strowman downloaded this week. Who else downloaded yesterday? I'm trying to think. Alistair Black and Ricochet, they just DLC overall. They just on every show, every week. So what is the point?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it just Iconics were on Raw, and it just.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, last week,
Kofi, Kofi did downloads on Raw, and it used to be the way Captain 4Kid, Cena, and Taker, or like if you were like the upper echelon, if you was Orton, Cena, Taker, or Legend, the brand split didn't make a matter. You could just show up, which makes sense. You just show up like Cena.
Yeah.
You just showed up on SmackDown and then Raw on SmackDown again. But now you got Lars Sullivan downloading and Strowman going against. Like, these matches make no sense. It's no build. Why is Strowman going against Joe? Oh, we're just going to download you because we had nothing else better to do. Is this feed going to lead to anything? Well, I mean, Strowman's not going to SmackDown. We know that much. They need him for Raw.
He could. He could go to SmackDown. I'd be cool. I'd be okay with that if he went to SmackDown. I'd be cool with Joe versus Strowman on SmackDown. GSP says Raw C minus SmackDown D didn't understand the motives of Taker, Joe, Randy, and Co. It just seemed so weird to me. Are they leading to something? So many questions need to be answered. Good assessment. But I do think that SmackDown was better than Raw.
The last time we said that after Mania.
True. Good point. All right, for the second time, let's do this. Daniel, good point. Ricochet and Black work in 3 shows is a recipe for injury. Yeah, 100% correct. Yep. As a matter of fact, you get the comment cheer of the night for that one. That's a really good point. As soon as I find my sound bites there. for cheering. I'll get it for you, buddy. There it is. Here we go. Daniel. There you go. All right. All right, so I think we're good, man. Let's wrap this up with the Flavor of the Week. Did we cover everything as far as the headlines? Let me make sure that we got everything for the headlines. Eli Drake released from Impact Wrestling. Okay. So a couple of things. Brock Lesnar done with WWE for now. Could be facing Daniel Cormier in August. I'm looking forward. If that is true, I'm looking forward to DC and Brock in August. And Brock's had his run, so there it is. That's that. Eli Drake. I can see Eli in AEW. I think Eli Drake will be a good top name in AEW. I like Eli Drake. I've had him on the show before. Nice guy. But he was one of the best promo workers in all of professional wrestling. I believe. Still is, but they weren't using him right in Impact recently at all. And yeah, so I see AEW. Daniel says, if not AEW, MLW. Yes, yes, I can see both. He's a charisma magnet. But I think from a larger platform, I think AEW would be the way he should go. I don't think WWE will use him right at all, unfortunately. And then WWE misleads fans regarding transit schedule. So the crazy thing about this is that they didn't advertise the end times, and people were waiting like 3 hours in the rain because it started raining. And on top of if you got there for the pre-show, which is at 5 o'clock, you were there for 7.5 hours. We got there. We watched the pre-show on the network, and then we got there right before the main show. And so we were there for 5.5 hours. And man, if you were there for 7.5 hours and then had to wait 3.5, to get or 3 o'clock. I think it was around 3:30. People were staying until like 3:30. So if you wait 3 more hours, that is 10.5 hours in one show. That's insane, and people are legitimately upset about that, and I agree. I mean, WWE apologized. They actually said, let me get the quote for you. So the transit spokesperson says, the primary factor contributing to the post-event delays was the WWE's decision to extend the event to 12:30 a.m., which has significant operational impacts on the evening. New Jersey Transit was not informed of this decision until late last night. So that was a big deal. The WWE spokesperson says, "We regret any inconveniences fans may have experienced with mass transportation after the event." And then added, just like other sports entertainment events, they don't announce the end time, and they didn't get a fine for it. They apologized for the last minute changes, and adjustments were made to have crews and trains from throughout the system. So, yeah. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. It was a bit misleading for them, but like I said, it was unfortunate. So yeah, there's some rumors that Eli Drake was refusing to wrestle. I think he was refusing to be a part of the intergender match. It ended up being Tessa Blanchard and Joey Ryan. I'm not sure about that, but I did hear about that. So I don't know. I can find out. I can see if I can dig and find out. All right, so let's hop into this flavor of the week. I got something for y'all today. You ready for it? Here we go.
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. There you are. You all bought it. Hook, line, and absolute sinker. All right, so we're going to talk about it was Chris. It was Chris all along. You all bought it, hook, line, and sinker. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 11. So we only got a few minutes left. Yeah. We only have a few minutes left, so we're going to talk about some WrestleMania 11, buddy. And as my boy Black Bark would say, ain't a daggum thing you can do about it.
Yep, you can do about it.
Ain't a daggum thing you can do about it. I'll turn this down a little bit. Alright, let's see. There we go. Alright. So, we're going to talk about WrestleMania 11 real quick. Let's bring up WrestleMania 11. Let's bring up the CAD. Alright, so a lot of people thought that WrestleMania 11 was one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. The card was Allied Powers, which, again, one of my favorite theme songs. Big fan of that theme song. They defeated the Blue Brothers. I remember watching that crap, man. That was terrible. Actually, that was 16. Let's see. Yeah, that was 11. That was 11. So I remember Blues Brothers losing Allied Powers. That's when I had Uncle Zebekiah, which was, of course, Dutch Mantel. Razor defeating Jared by disqualification. Jared retaining the Intercontinental Championship because of that. That's when Taker beat Bundy. We talked about that more with when David Hero was on the show. Owen and Yoko winning the WWE Tag Team Championships for the Smoking Gun. That was a solid match, actually. The I Quit match was good too, ish. Hart and Backlund was, solid, of course, man. There's two of the best technicians ever. There was a crazy video going around of him, Backlund doing a headstand and slowly rising up his body while he was doing a headstand. 70 years old, man, still as agile as a young gorilla, young monkey. Is very agile. Diesel beating Shawn Michaels. That was a 20-minute match. Retaining
sabotage on purpose.
Yeah. Retaining the WWE Championship, and then LT and Bam Bam.
Full-on match.
That was a very catch-as-catch-can Iron Man match between LT and Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah, I was one of the years where I was still young, and that was one of the years that I was like, what are they doing? Like, it was one of those years.
This was the first year. I'm not sure if anybody, maybe you can remember this. I know here in Baltimore, I remember distinctly that was the first Mania that they actually played the main event of WrestleMania again for free on regular TV from 5:45, like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah, that's.
And I just was like,
GSP makes a good point. He thinks that HBK versus Dito should have main event. I agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, being that he was going for the celebrity buzz.
Yep. Yeah, that's been going on for a while. I mean, the celebrity appeal. They don't play. They don't play to the house.
Once I fully watch Mania 35 back all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and watch Mania 11.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that too. Yeah. I want to watch some more GWF and Simpson Lemonade. That's right, Gabriel. That sounds good, man. Ain't a daggum thing you could do about it. I absolutely. That sounds like a great deal. Yeah. Impact is losing talent. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Did Featherstone tell everybody the great lemonade he had at the Gotham Comedy Club?
Oh,
JR and King, the worst Coca-Cola I've had in history. That's why whenever I travel, Featherstone know this now. Whenever I go to any place, I never get fountain drinks. I will pay extra for the bottle of the can.
Yeah, fountain drinks are, yeah.
What in the world? That Coke, Featherstone had the Slump Lemonade.
It was terrible lemonade. Yeah, terrible. Yeah, but the good thing is that the food was good, though. The food was not there, but at other places the food was very good.
Oh, the burgers, Lucky Burger.
Yep, the burger joint. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure for tonight. 367 episodes in the books. I think you all like Plan B better, man, so we might just be riding along with this. We might go Plan A next week, but we'll see. I really enjoy Plan B much better.
I enjoy it.
We'll see where we go. I think Plan A, it's a little bit better streamlined, but yeah. Listen, y'all be sure to drop a like on the show. Y'all are really supportive, man. Y'all, I'm telling you, PNP Nation are the best fans in the business, ladies and gentlemen, if you will. The best fans in the business. You know, it's the crazy thing about, and I'm so grateful for you all because you are awesome. I see so many reputable podcasts get so many dislikes and so much, so many SJWs just commenting and trolls commenting You know, but the PNP Nation, like, we don't get that stuff. Like, you know, if you look at the YouTube video, we don't have trolls. So Kimbo says it's such a fun and positive wrestling show. I appreciate that, man. That's where I'm aiming for. That's what I'm going. GHP, man. Likewise, Chris. Great show, man. And riding with the game for life. That's right. We gotta get a symbol for like PNP Nation. Something like, you know, like yeah, like this, or like we gotta do some. You know, we got the 4 horsemen, a triple threat. You know, something like this, or you know how it is. You know how it is with like people have heel turns, and like the throwing up the sign, you know, kind of solidifies the heel turn. When someone turns heel, you know, the 4 horsemen, you know, they kind of slowly rise up to 4, and they get booed. Or somebody joined the triple threat at an ECW, slowly throw up the triple threat.
Right,
I think we got to do like NWO. We got to NWO. So yeah, I think you got to do it. I think you got to do it somehow. We got to create some type of.
I could say very quickly if I could plug this, which I rarely do. Next Tuesday, I'm doing the double shot. Start my show on Tuesday night. Next Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I'll be having the man Dr. D. David Schultz on my show. So 11 o'clock a.m. Featherstone, you'll be awake, and then you get up 5:30 every morning. So please check that out. Under the Mat Radio to hit me up.
That's right. Under the Mat Radio. Check out
#UTMR Dr. D. David Schultz.
Yeah.
Bounty hunting and wrestling. And he will slap you.
Yeah, he sure will. He'll slap all the journalists. Lexi says PNP is for true fans and wrestling enthusiasts. I agree, man. I agree, Lexi. I agree, Lady Lexi. GSP is asking, will PNP be on Friday's SmackDown switches to Fox? No. PNP has been Tuesday since day one. And when PNP started, SmackDown was not live. So we covered the previous week's SmackDown on PNP. So Tuesdays, man. Tuesdays is the deal. Yeah. So but yeah, man, I'm so grateful for y'all, man. We don't get trolls or people just sabotaging. GSP, thank you. Don't take my Tuesdays away from me. I shall not, sir. I shall not. But yeah, man, continue to support the show. Like, comment, you know, all your positive encouragement. Really appreciate it. Yes, Ezekiel Jackson was here. James, it was a fantastic interview. I really enjoyed it, and the PNP Nation on the chat did too. Check it out on YouTube. This will be playing back on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, 367 episodes in the books. Again, like, comment, Pancakes and Powerslams. Follow me at Chris Prolific, and follow Crave Wrestling. Follow the Pancakes and Powerslams show at Crave Wrestling. And Instagram and Facebook. Go like the Crave Wrestling Facebook page, YouTube Crave Wrestling, all different types of social media outlets. Awesome. New shirt. Okay. You know what? I'm thinking about doing a new shirt. If you were interested in getting a PNP shirts, let me know. We'll go ahead and do that. So 367, y'all have been fantastic. I really appreciate every single person on the PNP Nation. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, beforehand, look at all those social media outlets right there. Twitter at Chris Prolific, Twitter at Crave Wrestling, Patreon, Pancakes and Powerslams, YouTube, Crave Wrestling, Facebook, Crave Wrestling page, Instagram at Chris Prolific, and Instagram at Crave Wrestling. People wanting Pancakes and Powerslam shows. Pancakes and Powerslam shirts. All right, cool. Tweet me at Chris Prolific and we'll make that work for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. God bless.